Módulo 8. Architecture, the art and science of building. The fundamental purpose and goal of architecture, to provide shelter, has remained throughout the history of its development. The results of this goal have varied in accordance with the raw materials and technical knowledge, unique problems and imaginations of each era and its civilization. Architecture is the only one of the major arts that is directly functional. It is the art in which the proper performance of function is most important. Therefore, it is in architecture that we see most clearly the influence of functional demands that arise from climate and those that come from social conditions, elements determined by man in contrast to those that are governed by nature. With the technological advances of reinforced concrete, steel girder construction and the cantilever method, the way was clear for the strict functionalism of the contemporary skyscraper. Traditionally, the material of which a building is made is determined by the materials native to the place where the building is erected. In Greece, marble was easily available and many of the buildings were made of marble. In Rome, concrete was used because there were great quantities of an earth called puzzolana, which, when mixed with lime, made a hard and enduring cement. Through Europe, limestone was easily available, and the cathedrals were built of limestone. In most sections of the United States, there were heavily wood forests, and the first homes were log cabins. In some parts of the country, clay was to be had for the digging, and bricks were fired where the house was to be built. In the Southwest, Indians used bricks dried in the sun or adobes. The Eskimos built their homes with blocks of hard snow. But this condition is changing since the new materials are being made. The most important are structural steel and reinforced concrete, but many other new materials have gained wide acceptance. Plate glass makes possible huge expanses of uninterrupted windows. Glass bricks have the advantage of letting in light, that of being translucent while not being transparent. The choice of medium determines the type of construction used in the building. Louis Sullivan, 1856-1924, participated in the evolution of the first distinctly American style. His innovations were made possible only by the many technological advances, among them reinforced concrete, steel girder construction, and the cantilever method. With these engineering achievements at hand, the way was clear for the strict functionalism of the contemporary skyscraper. Frank Lloyd Wright, 1869-1959, the greatest American architect of the 20th century and a follower of his master, Louis Sullivan, perfected Sullivan's theory of functionalism, but emphasized the aspect of romantic naturalism by his belief in the organic relationship of architecture to the natural environment. Wright's work is characterized by the substitution of space and plasticity for the traditional focus on static matter. Lloyd Wright was unique in 4 ways. Each design exhibits a complete grasp of the purpose of that specific building. His perception of the peculiar properties of each material so shaped its form as to express that and only that substance. He conceived the space as flowing from area to area of the interior to the exterior through a maximum of windows, and he was so extraordinarily sensitive in fitting his designs into their sites that they seemed to belong to them. Frank Lloyd Wright used the cantilever widely in a number of houses. He used the cantilever in a veranda so that the roof projects over the porch with no columns or pillars to hold it up. For the research building for the Johnson Wax Company in Racine, Wisconsin, Mr. Wright erected a tall building in which all the floors are alternately square and round, and the whole is enclosed in glass. The boast of modern architecture is that it is organic. Organic architecture is identified primarily with Mr. Wright's work. Stone, wood, and plaster made his home in southern Wisconsin as much a part of the ground as the rocks and the trees and the hills there are on the land. Architecture has three fundamental attributes: adaptation to purpose, beauty, and structure. Through architecture, as distinct from building, mankind tries to express his fundamental craving for beauty, his ideals, and his aspirations. Ahorita procedemos a los ejercicios.